Rick Without the K James presents, in my opinion, podcast.
So the next subject is professionalism in the workplace. And we're going to go to you on this because you believe women and men are treated completely different.
I gotta breathe in and out for this one. Yes, I totally believe it. You don't know how many jobs I've had where I've had to talk to HR because of some shit that I said or something that they thought I said, or I'll tell you, I even just started a new job and they all want to know, where are you comedy or this or that, and I'm like, I know that it's different for me as a male. I'm not allowed to say the things that a female would be allowed to say at work. And I don't understand why you guys want equality, but when you get it, you guys throw that shit away. And that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I was like, I have workers that I've worked with, and because we're male nurses, we work with 90% of our fucking workforce is female, right? And you guys can say the most degrading shit, the most sexualized shit at work and get away with it. But I can't say, hey girl, you look good today, because I just had a Me Too moment at that moment in time. You know what I mean? So I wanted to talk about it because I want to know from a female's perspective, do you even see that the double standard there? Or you do and you're like, oh well, fuck it, have a vagina and maybe you could deal with it, because it is that for us. Where I said, I made a joke one time in an interview and they asked me, because it was kind of low key and the way we went in the interview, I was kind of make a joke, but obviously you don't make a fucking joke during an interview. And they asked me, they go, what do you think of sexual harassment? And I said jokingly, I go, well, if it's to me, I really don't call it harassment, right? And they just looked at me like, did he just fucking say that? And I go, no, that's jokingly. Of course, sexual harassment at the workplace. And then I went in to say whatever the fuck I wanted to. But from that point in time, let's just say I didn't get that job, right? So, I just feel like in the workplace, especially being a nurse, we don't get to do the things that females. I've been called sweetheart, love, this, that, and the other. And if I did it to, hey, beautiful, good morning, I would be getting talked to at HR by the end of the day. So, do you have the same thing being in food service? Do you see the difference?
Can I go on this first and then have her round up?
Go for it.
Yeah.
There's a couple things I want to add in too, by the way. It's like, for instance, if a man loses his temper, you're an asshole, you can get fired. I've seen women go off screaming at the top of their lungs.
Preach on.
Poor thing's having a bad day. I was at work one day. This bitch tipped her cart over. Her med cart. Honey, what's going on? Is it that time of the month? They took her in the back. They talked to her. They'd have my ass in a straitjacket if that happened. I would be out of, they would call the cops on me. But her, take a break, honey, relax. Someone walked over and helped to finish her med pass. They wouldn't do that for a man. A woman can cuss, scream. I've seen women yell. If we do that, oh, you're intimidating, you're gonna hurt somebody. No, you can't do that. And I have, this is not a joke. Years ago, I had a relationship with a girl at work. And my buddy Richard said to me, well, Ronnie, at least if you guys end up breaking up, it's no big deal because everybody likes you. And nobody likes her because she had a very strong personality. And I said, Richard, are you that stupid? She's always gonna get the sympathy card. I don't give a shit if everybody walks into the break room and she's fucking the janitor on top of the table. They're gonna look and go, oh my God, what did Ronnie do to push her to that? Is it not true?
No.
Because that's the
so
shit.
true.
And so that's the thing to me about men can't have tempers, men can't go off. I can't even say anything half joking sexually. Like if you look at a girl too much and say, oh well, you look really pretty today, and you're just trying to be sincere, if she takes that wrong, I mean, you could get fired. So that's why I wanted to say my spot, and then you go from here.
Okay, so you're both gonna take this very wrong for a second.
Oh,
I get
shit.
that.
Oh, good.
So if you look at statistics from rapists and serial killers, what are their genders?
Okay.
Males. Okay. So a female is having a bad day. I do not believe she has the right to tip her med cart over and everybody feels sorry for her. But I do feel like she might have the right to raise her voice to her male coworker that is probably undermining her, because it happens a lot as us women. They do it a lot, and they do it as a joke. That's the part that's most fucking annoying. If we raise our voice in the workplace, there's usually like a pretty good reason. Let's talk to the women afterwards and get the rationalization. I do work in a way more chill work environment than you guys. I don't have to worry about HR. I have a boss that at the end of the night will give me free sake bombs and apologize to me and give me a hug and tell me he loves me on the
I've
way
never
home.
had that.
Well, look at your salary and we win somewhere. You're winning that one. It's if the men in my workplace were to raise their voice at me, it's uncalled for. Because if you look at my job and their job, there is a mistake that has to have been made by one of us.
I want to ask one question. Why is it okay for you to raise your voice, and you believe I have a good reason to, but he's not allowed to raise his voice?
I don't think that you're not allowed to raise your voice. I think it comes to context. My boss, I love him. He's a great dude. Sometimes he gets really upset about mistakes that are made, but then he doesn't understand the situation in which the mistakes were made. And then, now that things are all fucking weird about this coronavirus, only certain people are working at our work, and he's one of them. I've experienced him mess up 3 different times, and they're completely on his own accord. I will show him the tag that I typed in, the reasons and everything, and he's already fucking mad, because it's his work, his business. He lost the money. He messed up. But why is he mad? Because he was super busy in the moment. And the same shit that gets to us on certain work days that he gets mad about happens to him. So if we raise our voice, it's because he just gave us shit and just tried to come tell us that it's our problem, our fault. And we'll have perfect proof that it's your fault. You just had the same problem that we had yesterday, and you were a fucking bitch about it. You didn't raise your voice at us yesterday, but right now, in this moment, are you going to listen to me if I don't raise my voice?
Do you think it's because a man maybe... Does a man come across more intimidating? Is that an issue?
No. Not to me.
Okay.
I feel like that might be part of the issue, but we've had several talks about this because I've known you over the years, where we worked at the beginning. I told Ronnie there was a promotion, and everybody in power in management was a female. And I said there was 3 of us that went to go interview for it. And the position was for director of staff development.
I love this.
Right? I was the only one that was certified and had already went to the training to be a DSD. I said there was another gentleman, had been with the company like 25 years or some shit, and he applied for it.
He by far was the most qualified.
And, alright.
Well, no, what I mean by...
Motherfucker, I
I'm
just
sorry.
said I had the
Well-
certification. Right? And then you had the female, and she was a good nurse. I'll give her that. Alright? But...
I'm sorry, I can't... I want to try to get it through, because...
There was all 3 of us. There was all 3 of us. Linton got overlooked,
Don't say no names.
and I got overlooked. And the reasoning I got behind it is because my second wife, I met her at that job, and they were like, we don't like the fact that you had relations with one of your people that worked under you. And I said, she was a CNA, but we never worked together. I said, she worked on the other side of the building, we never worked together. And the girl that did get hired was married and messed around with one of the dudes that worked there as the counselors. And that was all. And she ended up getting the position. And that's what I'm talking about. I've seen so much unfairness.
You know where I'm going, right?
Go ahead. I'll let you continue it from here because.
And then you can debate it, but my thing is, I was a supervisor there, okay, and I love you, bro, but you were known for chasing skirt, and you were going to be in a position where you were going to be training all the girls all the young girls coming in, and I'm going to tell you right now, you were known for trying to sleep with anything and everything you could. And to put you in that situation
would have been wonderful. They're trying to hold me back.
But this is what I'm saying. And that's the only reason why, that's why I say the name you mentioned earlier.
With two heads.
I felt, he only thought with one at the time. But that's, he wanted that job so bad, and I think he would have been great at it. But the fact that at the time, he wouldn't have been 100%, he wouldn't have, it wasn't a reputation, it was true. He would try to bang anything that moved.
Where the only reason I bring this place up is because I love that job. It was one of the best jobs I've ever worked at, and probably the best place that I must have ran through at least 6 or 7 women.
That was the first weekend.
Like, this place was wonderful. But see, for my dating life.
Do you understand why they couldn't put you in that job? To put you in control of all the new young females.
But the fact that they gave it to somebody else that was married and had slept with somebody that's what pissed me off.
Slept with one person.
Yo, it's your boy Charlie Murphy, my main man, Rick James. That's the one you think, the comedian Rick James. Get up on him.